We go over to the United Kingdom. The London mayor there, Mr. Sadiq Khan, has says the temporary mortuaries are going to be set up as he expects more fatalities from the coronavirus. But we have a report coming in. Joining us live is Jennifer Ringwood. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm fine, Alma. How are you?
I'm good.
It's good to see you again.
Good to see you. So what are the updates over there in London?
Oh, it's been quite a dramatic night. The case has jumped by 181 overnight. So they're already encouraging the police that they will use the new laws that have been passed to encourage. I believe they will also be able to fine people if they're found out where they shouldn't be. So far, the total of people that have died across the UK is 759 people. We have 1113,777 who have tested positive. But bear in mind, the testing here hasn't been that extensive, so it's hard to really know how many people have it. They are expecting what they're describing as a tsunami of cases to follow. So they are really trying to get a grip now and tighten the restrictions. I think yesterday we already spoke about our Prime Minister Boris Johnson. He was tested positive. He's currently experiencing mild symptoms. In the event that he is no longer fit or able to continue to lead the country from his home at number 10, his second is Minister of Finance. Hang on, sorry. Dominic Raab is the one that will be taken over from him. He's the Foreign Secretary, so he'll be the one who'll be taking over from him if he becomes too sick. And then in turn, Dominic Raab will be able to elect any one of his ministers to take over from him if the same thing happens to him. Also, interestingly, our Health Secretary has tested positive for coronavirus as well. But it does look like there will be more casualties among the government since they didn't break that long ago.
Now in the United Kingdom. So how are the UK hospitals coping with the outbreaks? Over the outbreak?
Oh, it sounds like they're still struggling. I know that a lot of the masks are now coming through, so the PPE is already being delivered to many of the hospitals. Certainly, we're hearing from different sources that they are arriving. But it is still quite a struggle because of the massive increase that has been happening. They have also announced that they will open 3 more hospitals. Now, we heard yesterday already that the Excel Centre in London, that is being converted to what will now be called the Nightingale Hospital. So there was 750,000 volunteers, I believe, very close to that number, who have signed up to help the NHS. And these are a mixture of people who are retired, people who are in similar professions, so perhaps dental nurses, veterinary surgery staff, those types of competencies that can actually be transferred to be able to help in the new hospital. I believe there are 12,000 dental practices across the UK, and the dentists there are being asked to volunteer so that they would be redeployed to be used in these new hospitals that are being made. So Manchester, Birmingham and Cardiff, I believe they would have hospitals being created there to cope with what they expect will happen. I think after the clap for all of the NHS staff, Boris mentions it in his interview there, it was emotional, and I think for the nation it was emotional. I don't think anybody didn't participate, except perhaps exhausted nurses themselves may not have joined in. But it was, I think, the emotional lift for them, and to feel that they are appreciated, and that I think the world now, we have our hats off and we are praying for them to be safe so that they will be able to continue to take care of us in this very, very difficult time. But I believe with the PPE coming in, the anxiety has become a lot less.
So, uh, Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he thanked during his Twitter video, in his Twitter video, he thanked the NHS, the nurses and the frontliners. With this tsunami of patients, do you have enough health frontliners to tackle this?
If you'd asked me that a few days ago, I would have said no. But it does seem that they are really doing their very best to ensure that this is going to be dealt with. They are trying to establish 8,000 respirators and sourcing them from various different places. The company Dyson, subject to testing, that may well be a good source. Other industries as well are volunteering to make these. Again, they are looking at every possible way to ensure that we can cope with the tsunami. As I said, new hospitals are being built. The Excel Centre, the Nightingale Hospital, that is well underway. And it looks like they are already fully staffing that through the army of volunteers that have come forward. I think that that number that they had been looking for has well exceeded their expectations. And it does appear that although we don't have like a final confirmation right now, it does appear that when it comes down to it, we will be ready. So I think in terms of most of us ordinary people sitting at home, we understand the need to make sure that we don't add to the pressure on the NHS, and we understand that we need to stay at home to try and ensure that they are not going to, we're not going to add to that pressure personally. They are also bringing out other things.
Okay. So I've also read that, Jennifer, that a new low-cost rapid COVID-19 test has just been developed. Do you have any updates on this? If not, you can come back to me with that.
Thank you. That's right. So it's an antigen test that they're actually trialing at the moment.
Okay.
Specifically, the first one, it's similar to the drive-through testing that's been done in other countries.
Okay.
And this is aimed at the healthcare workers directly, so that they can, if they are feeling well enough, they can have this antigen test. They can check if they are COVID positive to see if they have the antibodies in their system or not. Antigens to the virus in their blood. If they have them, then they know that either they are in the process of getting over the virus or they have had it already. So that's briefly what I understood for it. I hope I'm right. But that is specifically now being aimed at NHS workers so that they can be going back to work a lot sooner. They will receive their results the next day. There is another test being developed for the rest of us, but as yet it's the sourcing and supply. So they are now looking at how that can be done in a more efficient way. But again, all of the things that we are hearing at the moment, they're very positive, they're going in the right direction, and it does look like they are really putting the accelerator on and trying to get this done as quickly as possible.
All right. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for all that updates. Thank you so much. Keep fit, keep safe. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Alma. I'm Jennifer Ringwood. We live in interesting times.